Hi there. I'm Kira, and I am going to be leading you today, or over the next few days, depending on how you want to break this video up, into the creation of your month of December. So it's the final month of the year, the final month of the fourth quarter. What we're going to do, how we're going to start this, is we're going to complete the month of November. And by the way, I have a cat running around that is going to be moving in and out of the camera. Just ignore her. She's a little bit of a ham. But we're going to be completing the month of November. Now, if you're getting on this video right away, we might even still be in the month of November. So keeping that in mind as you're completing the month of November, some of my cueing will definitely be pertinent to you. Now, if you're already in the month of December, some of my cueing inside of completion may not actually be all that important for you. So you'll see what I mean as we get to that point. So we're going to be completing the month of November so that we can really feel, kind of like ready to move into the next chapter. Because if you're still hanging on, emotionally, in your mind to any make wrong or badness about the month of November, that'll transfer over into your next month, and we want to let that go. And we're going to do that through a series of journal prompts. So make sure you have your journal next to you and ready. And we will be doing it through basically creating any sort of communications that need to be made in order for you to get complete, or what I call Hail Marys, that can be done before the month of December or November comes to an end. And that's why I said, if you're already in December, that may not be as pertinent for you. And then after that, we'll start to get into creating the month of December. And again, you're going to want your journal next to you for that. And if you have highlighters, it's super helpful. You don't need them, but highlighters can be helpful with that portion, the creation portion. And then we're going to organize that creation portion so that we really break down the steps of how you're going to get those things done in the month of December. And then depending on where we are on time, because I don't want this video to be any more than 45 minutes or so long, I might start to, go into the breaking down of the weeks and that kind of thing. But we'll see how far we get. But just honestly, creating the month of December and doing the breakdown of your projects is going to make a really big difference for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. By the way, so this is a ritual that I do every single week, and I do it with a group of people through a company called Kimbra. And what we do in Kimbra is we create rituals for creatives, freelancers, and entrepreneurs that keep them organized and on track with things like their money, their prospecting, and their time. And we meet weekly inside of each one of those topics to create space for people to do this sort of organizational work. So if you're somebody who needs to get more organized around your money, that might be a ritual that you want to make sure to get yourself into. Inside of that ritual, we update our budgets. We get into communication with people about money that need to be communicated with. We send out invoices. We reach out to people if we owe them money. We cancel subscriptions. Like all of the stuff that you have on your to-do list that you're just kind of putting on the back burner because, let's face it, it's really crummy to do. And it's kind of a pain in the you-know-what. But also, it's stuff that's easy to just kind of put on the back burner because there aren't people breathing down your throat like a boss or a spouse or kids, about getting it done. And so, we create those spaces, we create community, we create fun around these things like money management, prospect, lead generation and management, and time management, so that we actually do them. We do them on a weekly basis. We create the time and space for them in our week. So that is what the time bender ritual actually is. And then when we start a new month, this is what the ritual kind of looks like. And the weekly ritual is a little bit different, but kind of follows the same basic steps. Cool. I hope that I described that well. You can go to thekimbra.com and sign up for a 21-day free trial if you want to try it out. And you don't need to be doing all three to get benefits. You know, if you just have one area that you're like, yes, I could really take some time for generating leads, organizing my leads, getting that into existence in my calendar, then you'll want to go to the Rainmaker ritual over the others probably. You can certainly do all three though with your membership as well. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So, grab your journal. We're going to start with the completion of the month of November. I'm going to create space inside of this video, right? So I'm not going to have you pause the video to do your journaling. I'm actually going to create the space inside the video the way that I would inside of a live ritual. So I'm going to be putting a timer on, and you're going to journal. That doesn't mean that you have to stop journaling on that topic. It just means we're going to move on to the next topic. But you be wherever you need to be. Take whatever time you need to take on each prompt. So, for the first 3 minutes, what we're going to be doing is journaling on all of the success, all of the wins, every breakthrough, all of the gains, you know, like all of the ways that you won or you did well or, you know, whatever in the month of November. This is kind of your opportunity to brag on yourself, to really say like, holy buckets, I did that and I did that well, or wow, I had this incredible breakthrough and here's what it shifted for me in the month of November. So we're going to really be celebrating our wins for the month of November. I'm just going to put 3 minutes on the clock. Like I said, that doesn't mean that you have to stop after the 3 minutes. This isn't like a test where you have to put down your number 2 pencil. It just means, okay, I'm going to give you the next prompt, but here's the space to do this in. So all of your wins, go ahead, and if you haven't started already, go ahead and start. Brag on yourself, all of your wins. And I'm going to do this in real time right now as well. And if you want to be playing music right now, that would be a good thing. You know, in the ritual, we'll usually put on some music. It's kind of a new thing we started, but I'm not sure I can do that in this program. Got about a minute left. You just keep writing. Sometimes I have to go back through my calendar and look. All right, and go ahead, wrap that up, or just wrap that thought up long enough to hear the next prompt. And you're welcome to, keep, writing out all of your successes from the month of November, or, step into the next prompt. So, what activities in the month of November yielded the biggest returns for you? So, what did you do in the month of November that really, brought in the most in returns? And it doesn't need to be money. It can be energy. It could be joy and laughter. It could be good eating, healthy habits. So any of that and beyond, would yield a return for you. So what activities did you take on in the month of November that yielded the biggest return? I'm going to put 2 minutes on the clock for this one. Go ahead. Keep journaling on your wins, or you can journal on what yielded the biggest returns for you. Or finish one and move into the next. Go ahead and start to wrap up your thoughts on that. And of course, you can always add. You want to make sure to journal these things and get them down on paper, right? So they if you release something that you're doing that's creating big returns for you, there's the possibility of going back, reading and like, oh yeah, I did used to do that. I did used to like ritualize my time management time. And now that I don't do that, I'm noticing I don't know where the time is gone. I don't, that kind of thing. Um, Next prompt for 2 minutes, just journal on what was your biggest time or energy waster in the month of November. So, like, what sucked time or sucked energy from you in the month of November? Let's go ahead and start. And go ahead, reflect on what was a time suck or an energy suck. Got about 15 more seconds on this one. That was a good question for me. All right, go ahead and wrap it up if you haven't already. And the last question on our reflections and completion for the month of November, journaling wise, is what have you been procrastinating on for the last month? Or maybe longer, right? But what have you been procrastinating on? We'll just leave it there. All right, so 2 minutes. Think about it. What have you been procrastinating on? Some things I conveniently forget about until I look at my projects from the month of November and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I did say I was going to do that and I didn't. Go ahead and start to wrap that up. Awesome. Cool. And like I keep saying, I'm just going to keep repeating it because I know, like, for a lot of us in our world, it's like, okay, it's time, done. No, we don't really operate that way in Kimbra. It's just basically so that we continue to move along. I feel like when it comes to journaling, I could just keep going and going and going in a lot of ways. So, for certain, if you still have things to journal, you could even pause the video now and continue to journal. And you could have done that. You could have done that a while ago because this isn't live, so that's how that goes. But next, what I want you to look at is, if there's anything inside of this journaling that you need to share with somebody, or you need to get into communication with somebody about, please put that into existence for yourself on a calendar within the next 24 to 48 hours, okay? That way you can just really get that completion of November out of the way so that you can dive into December fully and from nothing. And so I'm going to give you a moment to go ahead and get that into existence for you now if you need to. And then also, and if you're still working on where to finagle that, keep going. Then also, if there's any Hail Marys, like, oh, if I could just get that done, like I could really move powerfully into the month of December. If there's anything like that, clear out a room, get some things up to the attic, talk to somebody, organize something. Something that you could do, especially something you could do within an hour, few hours. Go ahead and get that into existence as well within the next 24 to 48 hours so that way you can, again, move powerfully into your month of December, just completely, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, unbridled. Yeah, that was it. Something like that. So go ahead and get those into existence now. Okay. So, and if you have something you want to share to get complete with the month and there's nobody you really have to share with, you can always reach out to me. You can reach me at info@thekimbra.com. And I'd be happy to hear your share, either via email or we can get into a phone call or whatever it is. And if that would help you get complete, that would be great. I would love to help you with that. All right, so let's get into the creation portion of our session. So get excited. This is one of my favorite parts. So you still have your journal next to you. That has not gone away yet. We're still working on this journaling thing. And here's what I'd like you to do. You can close your eyes if you want to do this. Certainly, if you like to visualize with your eyes closed, and you don't have to. But here's what we're going to do. I want you to put yourself into the future. Place yourself out there into the future. So December 31st, right? You're about to go and celebrate your New Year's Eve, whatever that looks like in the time of COVID. I don't know. You're about to celebrate your New Year's Eve. And you're taking a moment to really sit and reflect on the past month. Maybe even the past year, but definitely over the past month. Because what you're remembering is you did this thing where you created your month of December and everything went exactly the way you wanted it to go. You can barely believe it. Looking back, you're thinking, wow, I don't think I could have made that up better. All of this, of course, grounded in reality. And really, your December turned out amazing. You might even say it was the best month of the year, which may not be a high bar for some of us. It was a rough year for a lot of people. But maybe even the best month, the most successful month of your life. Everything you put your effort and focus into turned out exactly the way you wanted it to. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock, and standing in December 31st, like a done deal, like you're in that day, I want you to reflect on what happened this month, in the month of December. What happened? Maybe even how did you do it? You don't have to necessarily get bogged down in that. But what happened in the month of December? How do you feel now on December 31st? I want you to journal everything that happened this month. 5 minutes for this one. Let's go ahead, get ready, get set, and start your journal. 3 minutes in. Go ahead and start to wrap things up. I feel like I still have so much to write. So, of course, you can always pause and continue. All right. Whew. Wowie zowie. Okay, I went a little bit over time. I just wanted to get that last thing in. A lot happened in December, y'all. I can't help it, right? Well, I could. I could just do nothing and sit on my hands all month. And then I wouldn't have anything to write, but that's not going to happen. All right. So now what we're going to do, I like to use highlighters. You can use your pen and underline things. But highlighters are super helpful. I have multicolored highlighters. Because what we're going to do, and I'm going to show you a previous month here of creation. Oh, it's in the back of this book. So what I used to do is like just circle. You can see that September's creation. And then October I started highlighting. Okay. What are we highlighting? What are we circling? What are we underlining? Tell us, Kira. All right, fine. All right. What we're going to be doing is I want you to look through this creation of this month of December and highlight, underline, circle, whatever method you're going to use, whatever you would deem, whatever you think is going to take some effort on your part to actually complete, right? So when I say that, I don't necessarily mean like something you can just put in your calendar. It's gonna take you an hour and you're gonna be good. Like I'm talking like projects, things that are going to take multiple hours, multiple different, multiple different slots of time throughout the month to get complete. Multiple conversations, multiple actions, all of that. I put them in different colors so I can just differentiate which project is which, because sometimes they come one right after the other, but not necessary. Again, if you don't have highlighters, don't worry, you can still do this part. So go ahead, read back through your projects or your month of December creation and highlight those projects. Okay, something that's going to take some effort, something that's going to take something on your part. husband is calling me right now. I told him I was making a video. Cannot talk right now. All right. So again, if you still have work to do in identifying the projects, continue to work here. What the beauty of this is you can pause, right? Which is, which is helpful. Let me text my hubs because he is going to not stop until I do. All right, great. So now we have our projects. So taking a look at your projects now, what I invite you to do is, now I use a planner from DragonTreeApothecary.com. And by the way, these planners are 30% off from today. Today is the day before Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. So if this looks like something you'd be into, I would definitely get on that because they're not cheap. Kali, stop it. And what I'm going to use is this piece of it right here to list out my projects. Now, they give space for 5 projects. I usually don't recommend doing any more than 5 projects for sure. Most months I have about 3 big ones, and then maybe 1 or 2 like little ones or ones that I just want to keep, in the fold, like on the forefront. I had 3 for the month of November, and I killed them. But I'm going to use this setup where it has a header, right, and then lines for the tasks, the actionable items that each one is going to take. Now, throughout the month of December, especially if you join my weekly time bender ritual, the actionable items will probably grow. So if you don't feel like you actually got in all of the items, the tasks for each one of these, don't worry about that. You don't need it all today because new things are going to come up. It'll be fine, right? But for now, identify, and you can do this in your journal. You don't need a fancy notebook that sets it up for you, but you're going to create either headers, or I've also seen it where you kind of web it, right? So you can put it in a circle, the project in a circle in the middle, and then web out the tasks that go along with it. So what I'm going to have you do is create the tasks as like a header. And you can name the task. If you want to name the game, you can name it. I know that some people like to do that. I did have one person once, he liked to title them as if they were done, like what the end result was. I usually just title it like, I finished my track certification early in the month and it was enjoyable and easy is my first line. So finished track cert. That's, what I'm going to title that. So no need to make it more complicated than that. So go ahead and take the time to do that. Now, if you have more than 5 projects, you might want to look at what could wait until next month. And just so you know, like going to work, showing up for work is not a project. So go ahead and start creating those headers. And we're just doing the headers right now. Don't get bogged down in the tasks yet. Not that you'd ever get bogged down in the tasks. I don't want to create that for you, but just the headers right now. Hmm. I'm starting to get bogged down in the actions already. I'm looking at something. I'm like, what actions do I take to make that happen? I don't know. But I'm just going to write, I'm just going to create it. And you know what? If I don't put any actionable items in it today, it's fine. But we're going to create it anyway. So again, if you're not done with that yet, pause here. If you have questions about that, again, info@thekimbra.com. You can probably also find me pretty easily on Facebook because you might have found this video on Facebook. But I want to start moving into the next piece because we are at 42 minutes on this video. And I don't want people to be, you know, taking up, too much space in one sitting for this. So, plus my husband keeps calling me, and so I don't know how much time that's actually taking up. So now that you have your projects done, take a look at them and start filling in actionable items that you know already need to happen in order to get them done. Again, I have things on here where I'm like, I don't actually know what actionable items need to get done to make this happen. And they're gonna come. Those action items are gonna come, and then I'll know, right? For one thing, like my certification that I was sharing with you guys, I have to do a 5-hour community project that I already have 1 hour of, but I don't really. It's not fully formed yet, so I don't actually know what are all the actions yet, right? Comfy Fitness website is supposed to be launching in just a few days, but there's a lot of testing that has to take place, and we're going to start a marketing campaign. Again, I don't know what I have to do for this marketing campaign until we hire the people that we're hiring and they tell us what to do. So I'm going to put like hire marketing team, right? And we're already in the middle of those interviews, but you can see like it's not all formed yet. But just having these projects down as projects and some actionable items to take like next week, right, is going to be super helpful. So go ahead and just start listing what you know needs to get done for each one of these projects. And in my experience, when I first start creation, it's not like I'm listing a boatload of things. Okay? Cool. Go ahead and do that. Depending on how you're doing here, I think I'm going to start wrapping myself up so I'm not making any of you wait too long on the video here. But I think I have most of this built out. So just so that y'all see, this is what mine is looking like so far. You see I have some repeated items here that I want to break up 5 videos for each week on this curriculum I'm working on. Week 11, week 12, which are the final weeks of my cert, and then meeting with Marta about my community project, which I'll build out, Comfy Fitness web and marketing, hiring a marketing team, testing the website, paying Miss Ann, who's our copywriter, because we did a bunch of writing last month, which was a big project of mine. Kimbra growth and boot camp and all of the things that I want to be doing for that. I put a star by things that need to be repeated weekly. So it says here, continue to advertise boot camp events and product, because I want to make sure that I'm always in that on social media, advertising what it is we're up to. And then the 4 new clients for Comfy Fitness, and it's actually 2 for each one of the trainers that works for me. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do above and beyond what I'm already doing. Kali, no. To get there, but it'll come. It'll come. And it's in my space and it's right there. So just, be patient with yourself. Be patient with what you have going on. Okay. So another thing that you could do, I don't do this, but I do think that I see how it's extremely helpful, is to create a buy when date for all of these, which is a method for doing this and making sure that you stay accountable to yourself. And then the other piece that I'm going to say is extremely helpful is creating a weekly ritual for managing your time. Okay? Now, we do this on Fridays at 3:30 p.m. where we ritualize our time management. We take our projects and we put it into our calendars. We create our calendar together, much like how we did today, where we actually took the time together to complete and then create. So every week we complete the week before, and then we create the week ahead of us. We use these projects lists to guide us. And I also use Google Calendar and train on that to help guide people inside of creating the week that's in front of them. Now, people use all kinds of their own methods, but they join the ritual anyway because it is their space and their time to actually make and create the week ahead, so that you don't find yourself at the end of the week being like, holy cow, where did that week go? And really being in the world of wow, I killed it this week, or wow, maybe I didn't get everything done, but I took a lot of time for me this week. Because, a lot of what we do is based in tracking as well. So you can really see what you got up to and celebrate what you actually did, because too often we get down on ourselves for the things that we didn't do, and we lack an opportunity to acknowledge what we did do. So we have a 21-day free trial, and I invite you to join us. You can join for all 3 rituals, or you can just pick one. We have Money Whisperer, where we track and budget weekly, getting into communication with people. Like I said, we have our lead generation, which is our Rainmaker ritual on Wednesday nights. And then we have our time management, which is what Time Bender is here. All of these are also recorded and put onto a platform for all of our users to use on the back end if they do want to make the rituals but can't make them live. Okay? So I hope this was helpful in getting you excited about your month of December and what's ahead. And mostly also just giving you an idea of how to really get those projects in and done so that you can end 2020 with total success. All right. Again, if you need to contact me, info@thekimbra.com. You can also find me on Facebook pretty easily. And beyond that, the 21-day ritual, the 21-day free trial of the ritual, you can sign up for at thekimbra.com. Oh, and also we have a special for lockdown, which hopefully is going to be ending within a couple of months. We've been running it for a while now. Is the first 6 months is $30.99. And the original price of all 3 rituals is $59.99. A very small investment to make to feel freedom around your money, around your lead generation and prospecting, and around your time. I hope you have a great day and a great December, and I hope to see you in the ritual. Bye-bye.